Good morning. My name is Marifa binti Muhammad Kasim. Today I'll be presenting on a very important and timely topic, the lack of retirement savings among Malaysians, specifically looking at the issue of EPF inadequacy. Let me begin by explaining what EPF is. The Employee Provident Fund, or EPF, is Malaysia's primary retirement savings system. It was established to help private sector workers and non-pensionable civil servants save consistently throughout their working lives. Contributions are made monthly by both employers and employees, and these savings are invested by the EPF to generate returns. Well, ideally, this system should ensure that Malaysians have enough money to live comfortably once they retire. But however, in reality, the situation is worrying. According to EPF's 2023 report, only 27% of active members who are nearing retirement, around the age around 54, have reached the basic savings target of 240,000 ringgit. This amount is considered just enough to cover around 20 years of retirement expenses at a modest standard of living. What's more concerning is that many retirees use up their EPF savings within only 3 to 5 years. With people now living longer often, until their mid-70s or beyond that, means many may be left with no financial support for over a decade. This situation is made worse by rising living costs, inflation, and the fact that medical and daily expenses continue to increase as we age. Now, this slide outlines the key objective of this research. First, we want to assess how many Malaysians have actually saved enough in their EPF accounts. We compare their current savings to official benchmarks like the 240,000 ringgit and the updated 390,000 ringgit targets. Second, we aim to explore the main causes behind low EPF savings. This includes looking into financial behaviors like early withdrawals, income inequality, poor saving habits, and the lack of financial planning among younger and lower income groups. Third, we will look at the real impact of inadequate savings on retirees. What happens when someone's run out of retirement funds in their 70s or 80s? Many are forced to depend on their children or continue working even when they are no longer physically fit to do so. Fourth, we'll evaluate current EPF policies and government efforts such as ISRI, Simpan Syariah, monthly withdrawals, and the Belanjawanku budget guide. Are these initiatives effective enough in helping people save more? Lastly, based on these findings, we will suggest practical and evidence-based solutions that could include new policies, financial educations, or reforms in contribution structures. And that's all for me. We'll go to the next slide. Now, let's take a look deeper into the background of the problem. Even though EPF system is well managed and provides consistent returns, the actual savings level of members are far below what needed. Based on EPF's own data, fewer than 3 in 10 active members reach the 240,000 savings benchmark by the time they approach retirement age. More recently, the EPF introduced the Retirement Income Adequacy Framework, which raised the basic target to 390 ringgit to reflect higher living costs, especially in urban areas like the Klang Valley. There's also a serious inequality in how EPF savings are distributed. The top 20% of contributors, known as the T20 group, hold over 80% of total EPF savings. In contrast, the B40 group, Malaysian lowest earners, hold only 1% of total EPF assets. This clearly shows that the system benefits higher income individuals much more than the lower income earners. One major issue is that many Malaysians made early withdrawal during the pandemic through schemes like iLestari, iSinar, and iCitra. While these helped them survive short-term economic challenges, this significantly reduced their long-term savings potential. Poor financial literacy also plays a role. Many people don't understand how much they need for retirement or how inflation affects the value of money over time. Combine this with low wages and high living costs, it becomes very difficult for most Malaysians to build a strong retirement fund. If we don't take action, we risk seeing a generation of elderly Malaysians living in poverty. They may become heavily dependent on their children or government assistance just to survive. That's why this issue needs urgent attention from both policymakers and the public. And that's all from me. We'll go on to the next slide.
So I'm continuing about current data and analysis. Recent data from the Employees Provident Fund (EPF) highlights a critical gap in retirement readiness among Malaysians. As early 2024, over 51% of EPF members under the age of 55 have less than 10,000 ringgit in their savings accounts, with 27% holding less than 1,000 ringgit. These figures fall dramatically short of the EPF basic savings target of 240,000, which is considered the minimum amount required to sustain a modest retirement lifestyle for 20 years. Furthermore, the EPF has recently revised this figure under the Retirement Income Adequacy (RIA) framework to RM390,000, taking into account increasing life expectancy and the rising cost of living in urban areas. As you can see, this is a distribution of EPF savings among members below age 55. The chart above shows that a majority of contributors are far from achieving financial security of retirement. Only 49% of members have more than RM10,000 in their accounts, which remains inadequate when measured against the long-term financial needs of retirees.
Now that we've discussed the problems, let's look at the possible solutions to strengthen retirement readiness through the EPF system. First, we recommend introducing tiered contribution rates. Currently, everyone contributes the same percentage of their income, but high-income earners could afford to contribute slightly more. For example, someone earning $12,000 could contribute 13% instead of 11%, which would significantly boost savings over time without burdening lower-income workers. Second, we need to expand voluntary savings schemes like ISRM for informal and gig workers. Many of them are not covered by EPF, but can still save if encouraged. Through government matching and easy payment options like top-ups through e-wallets or apps they already used. A monthly of 100 contributions with a 15% match can grow into a meaningful retirement fund over 20 years. Third, we suggest implementing mandatory financial literacy education in schools and workplace. A large number of nations still lack basic knowledge about saving, compounding, or retirement needs. Teaching this early, combined with employer-led programs, can change long-term behavior. Fourth, we propose allowing partial annuitization at retirement. Instead of withdrawing all the saving at once, retirees can lock a portion into monthly payouts, ensuring a stable income for at least 20 years. This will help avoid the common issues where retirees spend everything in the few years. Fifth, there's great potential in developing retirement planning apps. This tool could help users simulate their retirement needs, track whether they're saving enough, and receive personalized tips, especially if linked to their EPFI account. Collaboration with banks or fintech companies can accelerate this. And finally, EPF savings targets must be updated regularly to reflect real living costs. The 240,000 figures may not be enough for cities like KL or Penang. A flexible benchmark adjusted yearly for inflation and cost of living will give members more realistic saving goals.
Throughout this project, one of the biggest strengths we experienced was effective teamwork. We divide tasks based on each person's strength, whether that was research, analysis, design, presenting, or editing. Communication was a key, and we stay connected through regular video call and chat messages, which help us stay on track and support each other. Of course, we did face some challenge. One of the biggest challenge is choosing the right data, making sure it was both relevant and meaningful of our topic. Another challenge was finding creative ways to visualize our findings so they were clear and engaging. And like any group project, we also had to manage time pressure, especially during the final editing phase. To overcome this issue, we had a review session where we gave each other feedback and adjusted our approach. We also kept a flexible schedule and made sure everyone felt responsible to the final outcome. Now, in terms of what we learned, this project gave us a deeper appreciation for the importance of retirement planning and the role of financial literacy in long-term security. We also learned a lot more about EPF system and national policy that support saving and retirement. Finally, we learned that teamwork under pressure can actually bring out the best in everyone. We were able to combine our different ideas and skills into a presentation we're proud of. Throughout this project, one of the biggest strengths we experienced was effective teamwork. We divide tasks based on each person's strength, whether that was research, analysis, design, presenting, or editing. Communication was a key, and we stay connected through regular video call and chat messages, which help us stay on track and support each other. Of course, we did face some challenge. One of the biggest challenge is choosing the right data, making sure it was both relevant and meaningful of our topic. I would like to highlight the contribution of each team member in this project. First, Nur Arifah binti Muhammad Qasim took on multiple roles. She was a key researcher gathering important statistics, insight on EPF policies. She also worked as a writer, preparing slide content, and as a designer, making sure the visual align with what we discussed as a team. Lastly, she served as one of the presenters in our video presentation. Next, Marisa Sarafinas binti Wan Abdul Jalil also contributed significantly as a researcher, researcher, finding data and submitting information. She helped compile media articles and insight into our report as a writer, and took part in designing the slide. She was also one of the presenters in our final video. Lastly, me, Siti Syafiqah binti Zainuddin, play a strong role in both research and writing, contributing to the slide content and overall message. Me also helped with slide design and was one of our presenters. In addition, I act as our editor, compiling and polishing the final video presentation. Every team member contribute in multiple areas, and our collaboration was a key to the success of this project. I would like to acknowledge this is the reference we found when we do this research that support this presentation and this report. And thank you for your time and attention. We are happy to present to you. Thank you.